Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at the new Gorilla Grodd figure from the DC Direct line by McFarlane. I just got this, so I'm actually looking forward to this one a lot. I've been psyched about this one since I saw it online. Gorilla Grodd's just a cool character overall. This one does come with a comic book. It's one of the Page Punchers, I think it's called. I don't know if there's any other ones classified as page punch. This is the first one I've come across, but yeah, we'll take a look at the figure, and we'll also maybe do a brief run through of the comic book. But we're probably not going to go in depth in the comic book because spoilers and all that. But maybe we'll do comic books in another video. Anyway, so let's go ahead and I'm like I said, I'm really excited. I can't wait to open it up and take a look. He looks pretty badass. So yeah, let's open it up and see what we got this time. All right, here we are. So yeah, let's just get right into it. He's got a lot of weight to him. he's a bulky character, so it's a bulky figure. Right off the bat, I mean, the texturing, as always. I mean, there's maybe one or two cases where I can claim a McFarlane toy. The texturing isn't all that great, but again, this one's really good. Let me kind of hold it up close, and you can kind of see. It's just that really rough, detailed texture, and it kind of, the way it just shows like the muscles and the ribs and whatnot. It's really cool. It's really well done. So I like that. Also, right off the bat, the obvious thing, the armor color. I was a little on the fence when I first saw it because I thought maybe it was, it was kind of like it was very bright compared to, he's a gorilla. He's a black gorilla. But the more I look at it, it's actually nice. Like it complements the tone of the character really well. It's just I actually like the contrast. The orange. The only part that I'm not completely sold on is the cape back here. Like a torn and tattered cape is kind of cheesy. And when I say cheesy, I literally mean like it's kind of like it looks like melted cheese. It's got that rubbery texture to it, which I mean, it looks all right. I wish there was a little more detail in the cape. It's just kind of like a smooth, cheesy kind of texture. There's like no texture to it really. Not a big deal. I kind of wish maybe they would have added a little more shading or texture to this part. But again, no big deal. The shoulder, the pauldrons, what you want to call them. Again, they're also, kind of like rubbery and a little squishy. But that's good. I think I mentioned this before, but sometimes the shoulders, like especially on the Warhammer figures, the shoulders are so stiff because they're supposed to be. I mean, it's like metal armor, it's supposed to be stiff, and so you can't really move the arms very high. But on these you can. It'll just kind of, move out of the way for you. So that's good. I like it. And of course, like the chest plate is actually pretty sturdy. It's not squishy. You can tell that the character detail is still underneath there. It's not just like empty, or they didn't just kind of like cheat and just cover it up and not put any detail into it. You can tell it's still there. The overall design, I really like. I really like the helmet. I like the look on the face. I like the teeth. There's really good detail. See if I can get it closer. There's kind of like a bluish hue around the mouth, which in the right lighting looks really good. I'm glad they kind of messed with the colorization a little bit instead of just going for like all black. But yeah, he's a pretty sturdy character. Some of the joints are kind of loose, which is fine. They do stay. The shoulder pad kind of pushes this one down a little bit, but it's not too bad. So we got, back and forth, up and down, rotation. The elbow, which seems really stiff. Let's see if we can do this. Yeah, that elbow joint is that's a really stiff point of articulation. That as far as it goes? That might be as far as it goes. Looks like he's getting ready to throw a football. But yeah, it's not bad. I like that. The hands, I think you can open, kind of, yeah, like pivot them back and forward. And I think you can rotate the wrists, but not that much. Yeah, so you can kind of see the wrists do rotate, but it's a little bit limited. Well, I guess not. I guess it goes pretty far, so that's pretty cool. He doesn't come with any accessories, so he has like nothing to hold. I kind of think it would have been cool if he had like a spear or something like that, just to kind of hold or something. But usually the bulky characters like Man-Bat, Killer Croc, the Violator from the Spawn series, they don't really come with accessories because they're just, they're bigger toys, so they don't really need them. They're just kind of like these brutish characters, which he is. But again, would have been cool to have kind of something, maybe even like a human skull. That might have been maybe too. Maybe that wasn't, maybe that's a little too violent. But I think holding like a human skull and like throwing it like a football. But anyway, yeah, he's pretty cool. I like it. Again, in the back, I feel kind of weird doing this, but you can kind of see like there's still detail underneath the clothing. It's not just a joint and there's nothing back there, and it's just covering like the like a ball joint where it connects or anything like that. There's still detail of the fur back there. Might not seem big to a lot of people, but I do like that. Just because it shows that they put the time in to do that. So yeah, he's a pretty sturdy character. Here's another thing. Before we try to pose him, because we need the disc. Putting these discs in a separate bag like this is a big win. This is a big win, right? Because sometimes they just glue them under the plastic between the cardboard inside, and you got to kind of like pry them out. It's just, again, not a big deal to most people, I'm sure. I hate doing that. Having them in their own separate pack, like it's easy to open like this. Please do that more often. Please, for the love of God. Just put all the discs like this. And save me, a few cardboard cuts and a few instances of getting that little thin plastic shoved under my thumbnail, trying to get the disc out. Just put them in this. This is good stuff. But yeah, let's go ahead and open this. And then I think I might put a couple other figures next to him just to kind of give you an idea of the scale of him. Because when I opened him up and looked at him, he looked smaller than some of the other larger characters. But I just to give everybody kind of a better idea of the overall scale, maybe we'll do some comparisons. All right, so we grabbed the Doom guy and we grabbed Man-Bat. Yeah, surprisingly, he's actually a little bit taller than Man-Bat if you don't count the wings. Keep in mind, Man-Bat is kind of slouched over because he's a very top-heavy character, and if you try to stand him up too straight, he just topples right over. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's the right, I guess it's a good scale. I don't know. I guess when I picture Gorilla Grodd and you see him in the comic books and everything, you expect him to be kind of a bit taller than your average Doom guy, but still pretty good. I like the size. Just he's bulkier, so it looks good. It doesn't look like he's, too tiny or not on the same product line, like he's scaled to a different line, but it actually looks pretty good. So, yeah, I was actually surprised that he had maybe like a half inch over Man-Bat. So, interesting. I think obviously because he stands up straighter. So, yeah, again, I just wanted to kind of give everybody kind of an idea of what the scale is. Sometimes it's kind of iffy on the bigger scales just because of how the character is designed. Like I said, Man-Bat's kind of slouched over, but Killer Croc, I think, towers over both of them by a tiny bit. Oh, sorry, he doesn't really tower over him, but I think he might be a little bit taller just because he stands up a lot straighter. So, yeah, anyway, there's that. Just to give you a good idea of the how tall he is. Also, one other thing, I guess I forgot to go over because I was too excited and trying to go too quick. But the leg joints, I'll take the disc off. Actually, do have quite a bit of articulation to them. Obviously, here at the hip, they move back and forth. They kind of pivot, about one click. But here at the knee, they also pivot. which is strange that it does that. It doesn't really go back or forth. It just pivots side to side, which works in this case, just because of, you know, how gorillas kind of are, I guess. I'm not an expert on gorillas, but it was strange because when it came out of the box, he was kind of like this, and I was like, oh, that doesn't look right. It looks like maybe his legs a little contorted, and it was. So, but I was surprised that it did rotate. It rotates easy, which is good, obviously, for standing. You know, if you do posing them, when you display them or anything like that, works really well, especially because the bottoms here are really flat. So you almost don't even need a disc to display it. Here, I'll see if I can straighten it out and see if I can get it to stand without the disc. Oh, he's probably going to be a little too top heavy. But yeah, I mean, he's not bad. Yeah, the disc is probably a good idea. But still, it's a pretty stable, sturdy figure, which is good. Some of the bigger ones are they're just so big. Like, you know, I keep bringing up Man Bat, but man, he looks good and he displays well when he's standing, but man, those knee joints just crumple if you don't stand them up just right. So yeah, I don't really give these any sort of ratings, like 1 to 10. I don't know if I should start doing that. It always seems kind of, I don't know. I don't want people to put too much stock. You know, I don't want what I say to be the decision if people collect these and they, you know, get it or don't. I don't think it is, but giving it a rating just seems so, you know, concrete. But yeah, I like this one. I think it's worth it. Looks good to display it. Like I said, he looks like Grodd. He doesn't just look like your average gorilla in armor. It looks like the character it's supposed to be. And if you like comic books, you know, like I do, and you follow the Flash, the comic books, or the, you know, if you watch the TV show, that's fine. I'm not going to blame you for that. But either way, it's definitely worth adding to the collection if you collect stuff like this. He just looks really cool. There you go. No disc, and he's standing. But yeah, I like it. And there he goes. I like it, and let's just say I give it a thumbs up. And we'll probably end the review right there. So this is the Gorilla Grodd. Again, from the Page Punchers, and I don't know if there have been other Page Punchers. That's what this one's labeled as. Oh, and I guess we can kind of look at the, I'll give kind of a brief overview of the comic that comes with it. So let's stand this guy up. We'll do that really quick. I'm not going to go through the comic just because I know, you know, people read comics. I'm not going to spoil it for you. All right, I think I'll stay there for a second. That took a minute to do. So yeah, comic book. So yeah, this is obviously The Flash, book 1, by Jeff Johns. Scott Collins, Ethan Van Sciver, Angel Unzueta. And that's all I'm going to show. And the reason I do that is because if you're like me, like I was starting to say, and then kind of trailed off, you pay attention to the artists. I kind of categorize mine by artists. And then when I go to conventions, if they happen to be there, you know, I get them signed. But some artists have covers that are more sought after than others. So I don't know. Artist information, writer information, important knowledge for me, maybe just for you. Either way. Yeah, cover looks great. Maybe we'll do a comic book review. Well, maybe we'll do, I don't know. We'll do something with comic books. I don't want to review just one comic book, but I have so many comic books and there's so many to come, so it'll have to be its own series. But yeah, we'll end the review there. Thanks for listening to me stammer through these last few minutes. Again, I just kind of shoot these on the fly. I open them up. I review them at the same time that I record them, so it's just kind of, you know, spur of the moment. Let's see what we got, and let's evaluate it as we see it. So yeah, that's that. Thanks for watching. Feel free to click like, subscribe, click the bell if you would like to. Again, I hate telling people to do that because I just don't like telling people to do stuff. But I appreciate it if you do. I also plan on doing stuff other than just figures. I have a lot of stuff that I collect. So maybe we'll talk about some of that other stuff too. I have some cool ideas on the way, so stay tuned for those. It's not just going to be, McFarlane toy reviews, but we're just going to see where this goes. We're having fun with it. I'm having fun with it. So let's just keep going. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.